everyone, it's Evelyn. Thanks for stopping by my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Girl of Next Year 2024 Lila Monetti and her clothing items from her collection. I'm also going to be comparing her to multiple dolls in my collection, including several that you guys requested over on Instagram. My special guest today is my 4.5-year-old daughter, who is a gymnast that looks a lot like Lila and shares her interests. So we both thought it would be fun for her to be included in a small way in this video, and I'm so glad to share in the excitement with her on this one. So let's go ahead and get started opening this package. My daughter and I both really enjoyed opening this package, and part of that was the packaging itself. The orange and pink work really well together, and although I actually preferred Corinne's color scheme, I noticed that the orange and pink go really well with the American Girl red on the packaging, so it looks more aesthetic rather than clashing, which I feel like happened a lot with some of the other Girl of the Year colors. Instead of a chapter book, Lila comes with a journal in more of a graphic novel style, just like Covey and the Hoffman twins. And I know a lot of us that grew up reading American Girl find this super disappointing, and as an adult who was an avid reader as a child, I do miss those chapter books a lot. On the other hand, I am hopeful that this new style is going to lead kids who wouldn't normally read the books to actually take more interest in reading a book that comes with the doll instead of just kind of putting it to the side and never looking at it again. I also think that the style is going to appeal more to younger readers and the modern readers who are more used to looking at screens that have pictures and not necessarily walls of text. So the story behind why Lila has this journal in the first place is that it was gifted to her by none other than the Girl of the Year 2012, McKenna Brooks. So McKenna moved from Seattle to Minnesota for college and was actually Lila's babysitter. Now she is Lila's gymnastics coach, so she is still remaining a positive role model in Lila's life. And Lila, she's recently gone through a big change. She started at a gym that's more competitive, and she's no longer got her best friend Katie there with her. She's instead dealing with some interesting dynamics with the new gymnastics girls, including one that's really critical and bossy. This leads to a ton of self-doubt and insecurity, and she's just not sure that she has it in her to make the gold team. On top of switching gyms, she also ends up going to a horse camp with her brother literally last minute because his friend broke his arm and couldn't go. So McKenna actually ends up encouraging her with this and says a lot of the skills that she learns while she does her horseback riding might actually help her with her gymnastics, and they come up with ways that she can practice her gymnastics while at horse camp. As far as the Lila doll herself, I actually found myself pleasantly surprised with how much I like her. It's probably mostly to do with the Josefina mold. I always find it endearing. It's my favorite one. I have so many in my collection for that reason. But also the return of the amber eyes is so exciting. I missed those. I have 26 and 62, and I just love that eye color. Her freckle pattern, it is the same as Evette's. It's just a lighter shade to match her lighter skin tone. She has really full lips and the new brow and eyelash style. I think overall her face is really pretty, but I did notice on her freckles, and honestly probably Evette's too, they're shiny. These newer freckles are shiny, and I don't like that. If freckles are shining in the light, that looks cheap, because my personal freckles are not shining in the light. They are matte with my skin tone, right? So that's disappointing. I mean, even the eyelashes and eyebrows shine. We can see that on dolls like Claudie, especially whenever I take pictures of her. I'm always trying to get the light just right to where her eyebrows aren't shining. It just seems so cheap, and that's so disappointing. Her hair color and style actually might be one of my favorite things about her. So it's got this caramely brown base with red and blonde highlights on the top. It makes a really pretty combination, and it also means that kind of no matter what hairstyle you put her in, you always get a little bit of a different hair color and look to her. For example, in her meat hairstyle, underneath the little ponytails, you can see the brown that's coming through, but then whenever you take it down, you can see that her hair looks a lot more red, which is really cool. Another thing that I really like about this wig is that it doesn't have that gritty texture to it that 118's wig has. I personally kind of like that hair texture, but I know a lot of us don't, so that's something to note now. The hair is nice and thick, it's easy to brush, it's easy to recurl with your fingers, and it does have some baby hairs to cover the wig cap if you put her hair in pigtails, which she looks very cute in. I really love these highlights in the front of the hair. The red highlights in here are really pretty. They're similar to Blaire's hair color. So with these highlights, the hair color, it just has a lot of depth to it, which I'm enjoying and having a lot of fun playing with. As far as her eyes, although a lot of people are saying she has the same eye color as 26 and 62, the old classic amber, I didn't find that to be the case when I was comparing them. It's hard to pick up on video, but it was really evident in person. Her eyes are definitely a little bit different than theirs. They're much lighter, of course, than the standard brown, as you can see when I compare her to Covey here, but compared to Ember, my 26, and then Parker, my custom 62, her eyes are a bit more brown. As far as the undertone, theirs seem to have more of a yellow-green undertone to them. It could just be their age. I purchased these dolls probably 2015, something like that, so they're a bit older, but when I mentioned this on Instagram, people were saying maybe it's the skin tone that's creating this difference. So in this picture, I took the eyes only and put them side by side here in the middle, and I can still see a difference. But tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments if you think that it's just the skin tone making the difference, or could Lila have her very own eye color? Another thing I wanted to point out, Lila has something that none of my other dolls have yet, and that is the star on the foot. It's indented into there. It's not smooth. It's kind of weird, but although I'm not really a big fan of it, but it doesn't bother me as much as I expected, since it's always hiding in a shoe or she's standing. You can't really see it unless you keep your dolls barefoot. Before I open and review the clothes, I wanted to show you some comparisons between Lila and other dolls in my collection in case it might help you decide whether or not to get her. A lot of these suggestions came from you guys over on Instagram, so thank you so much for that input. The first two dolls I knew I wanted to compare her to were Evette and Leah, since these are the two that she seems to be compared with the most. I've seen so many people say that they just don't want Lila because she looks just like Evette. They do look pretty similar, and that's because they share more features than they don't. They have the same face mold, the same eyebrow shape, eyelash shape, freckle pattern, and even lip shape. Most of the other dolls with the Josefina mold have more of a bow in the middle of their lower lip, kind of like a Cupid's bow, but on Lila and Evette, that is more rounded, so the lips appear more full overall. In contrast, though, their skin is super different. Evette's is darker and more cool toned, so she has the same skin tone as Covey, and Lila has the number 10 skin tone, which is a little bit more of a yellow or warm undertone to it. Lila's eyes are much darker than Evette's gray ones, which, unlike Lila's, are outlined with a dark eyeshadow to give her more of a grown-up look. That's kind of a hallmark of those World by Us dolls. In their hair, it might look pretty similar, but Lila's actually has much more red and has a different curl pattern, so they don't really look that similar in real life. They do both, of course, have those highlights in the front, but that seems to be something that they are really trying to add on a lot of dolls now. Lila has much less in common with Leah. They have the same face mold, of course, and a similar caramel hair color, but that's where the similarities stop. Leah, she has these unique hazel eyes that have the dark rims and the smaller pupils, so that alone makes them look so different. But their eyebrows are also very different too. they sit further apart and Lia's are an entirely different shape. Her skin is a warm tan shade compared to Lila's lighter skin tone, and her lips are much more of a mauve pink. And of course, Lia she has different teeth. If you look closely, they're kind of smaller and a little bit longer. I believe that might actually be unique to the Lia doll. Definitely let me know in the comments if you've noticed that on yours. Next up for comparisons is Blaire. I know some people have been saying that Lila looks like Blaire, and specifically I saw a secret on the AGIG Secrets Instagram page that was complaining about Lila, and in that complaint they mentioned how she looks similar to Blaire. I personally don't think this is true. The only thing they have in common is their face mold. When the leaks came out, I did think that she looked like a cross between Evette and Blaire, but seeing them together, she looks much more like Evette than Blaire for sure. The red highlights in Lila's hair are similar to the red of Blaire's hair, which I just think is so pretty. In my opinion, if you already have Blaire in your collection, Lila will stand out in comparison, especially because Blaire herself is a unique doll. She's got the pale skin, the unique brow shape, and she's even got a unique green eye color. Next up is Lila in comparison to my custom 118 Winter. Some people were wondering if they have the same wig, and they definitely do not. Just like Evette, both of these dolls have blonde highlights and a caramel brown base color. Their hair is a similar length, but Lila has much more red in her hair than either of those two dolls, and her strands are much more smooth in comparison. So as a result of that, her hair is shinier and smoother and has more dimension in the back. Next up is a request from Chrissy's Dollies on Instagram. Here's Lila with Girl of the Year Nikki Fleming. Nikki does have caramel hair as her base and light skin with freckles, but the freckle pattern is so much different than Lila's, so these two really look very different. The next request is from Starry Eyes Chick, who wanted to see Lila compared to Joss. These two are both brown-eyed, light-skinned brunettes with highlights. Other than that, they look very different, especially because of the face molds. The nose on Joss is just so much more upturned that, in my opinion, they really don't look the same at all. Here is Lila with Grace, as requested by Blush AG Princess. Grace is a great choice to compare to Lila because they both have the light-skinned Josefina mold with freckles. Grace's freckles, however, are very different from Lila's. They're more unique as far as that's concerned, with a bit of a darker color to them. They're more rounded and further apart than Lila's. And of course, they're not as shiny, which is great. They do have very different mouths too. As you can see, Lila has a more defined Cupid's bow and more round lower lip, and their teeth are also a very different shape. Now that we've done the review in comparison with the doll herself, let's take a look at her entire wardrobe. First up are Lila's Sparkle and Dreams pajamas. I really like these, and my favorite part about them is definitely the pants. The top is really cute though. It says sparkle is my favorite color, and I think that this could probably work as just a casual tank top for an everyday outfit. The lettuce trim though kind of makes it feel a little bit more like a pajama though. The pants are amazing. I love this oil slick pattern in the rainbow. It's so pretty, and they're stretchy and feel so comfortable. Of course, we've got the cushy, cozy slippers and a matching scrunchie. Here is what my daughter had to say about these pajamas.
So, I very like the rainbow pants, and I very like the texture of the shoes.
Next is Lila's Gymnastics practice outfit. I love this one. I think it's great that it's also a kind of a 2-in-1 where you get the outfit as a whole and then also an extra leotard. That way you can dress another doll in this leotard so that they can practice gymnastics with Lila, or just Lila has another option to wear. The The leotard is a GK brand, which it does feel a lot like, or maybe exactly like, the GK leotard that my daughter has, which is lovely. This sweater is a really nice thick material, which I love. Only a smidge scratchy from the glitter, but other than that, it's fantastic quality. The orange is really cute and different than other things that I have in my collection. I love that it has a matching scrunchie. I know that those are kind of in right now. The shoes, however, are plastic, and although they're plastic, they're very heavy. They're like chunky, heavy, thick shoes. It's important, of course, that Lila has shoes that she can slip on and off for practice, but overall, I'm just not so happy that they are so plasticky. But here is what my daughter had to say about this outfit.
So, I very like about this outfit. So the leotard is just the same as my other outfit, and I very like the shirt is so glittery, and the shorts, and I very like the headband. This so pink, and the shoes are so heavy.
Next is Lila's gymnastics competition outfit. So unlike her practice outfit, this is a competition leotard, so it's a little bit more fancy than her practice leotard. It's got the long sleeves, it's vibrant, we've got glitter, well, sparkles, and overall it's that same quality, like I said, that you would expect from GK. There is nothing negative I have to say about this. The only thing I can come up with, it is just so bright, and that is not my personal taste, but we've got the color yellow introduced here. This one is a lot easier to get on the practice leotard, which that one took me a hot minute to figure out how to get on my doll, but this is overall very amazing quality, and my daughter loves this one too. I love that it comes with a gold medal because, again, it just reminds me of the Olympics and just competition in general. And of course, you have the shoes that are more so worn for these competitions. We have some cute hair ties because Lila's wearing those pigtails. One thing about Lila that I learned from her book is that she does love to do hair. So that's why you're seeing a lot of hair accessories in these outfits. Just a little tidbit, but here is what my daughter had to say about this outfit.
So I very like the sparkles of the leotard, and I very like the ponytail.
And last, we are opening Lila's horseback riding outfit. This is one that I wasn't 100% sure on, and I think a lot of us felt this way when we saw it, but these boots, while I'm not a huge fan of them, they're definitely what my daughter went for first and loves the most about the outfit. So I guess this is just one of those things that's just going to appeal to the kiddos more than us adult collectors. And that's okay because this is definitely more so made for them. I think that this jacket, though, is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't sure that I was going to be a fan, but the quality is amazing. There's real buttons. It's perfect and thick. Same with this shirt, great quality. And the leggings, the quality on these is phenomenal. It's not like a cotton knit. It's more of a slick, like nylon maybe, kind of like the yoga outfits if you have those. And this headband is so cute. Just everything together is adorable. We've got pieces that we can mix and match, which is one of my favorite things. And even though those boots aren't my favorite, they are different than things that we normally see. And they don't shed glitter, which is a huge plus. So here's what my daughter has to say about this outfit.
So I very like the shirt, and I very like the buttons on the shirt, and I very like the sparkles of the shoes.
Before I conclude the video and get into my opinions on this release, I do want to say and point out that Even though these outfits aren't necessarily my personal taste, I do think that they did a pretty good job with Lila's wardrobe. In fact, a lot of the pieces are going to be very good at mixing and matching with each other. I wanted to just show you kind of all of the shoes together, the tops, the bottoms, the accessories, and also some of the different combinations that I thought of that you could put these outfits in. So I'm just going to show you those real quick, and then we'll get into the opinions after that. To end this video, I was initially going to go over my opinions on Lila, her collection, and the fact that it released early. Unfortunately, my opinion on the early release alone ended up being about 7 minutes worth of audio, and in that time, I wasn't even able to say everything I wanted to. So I'm going to leave you with a consolidated version here and create a separate video for the rest so this one doesn't get too long. So in short, I think this collection has a cute aesthetic overall, and I can see how little kids will love it a lot. I know mine does. And I can also see that it was created specifically with them in mind and probably not so much for us adult collectors. But as an adult, I can even appreciate and enjoy her clothing. And of course, I find the doll herself gorgeous. I understand logically why they released her and why they released her early, but at the same time, I'm sad for Covey. My little girl got to see a Girl of the Year release that looks like her and that has the same interests and hobby as her, and that was really special for her. It makes me happy to see her happy, but I can't help but think of the little kids of color that are yet again not seeing themselves represented in this line. And it breaks my heart, it makes me mad, and American Girl needs to do better. As far as what's been represented in this line, I wanted to create a visual for you guys to see exactly what I mean here. I made a graphic to illustrate all of this, which I believe a lot of you might find interesting. I originally made this for my Girl of the Year tier ranking video so that I could pull data together on what the most used features in the Girl of the Year line are. I have now updated it for the release of Lila, so here that is. Unsurprisingly, Lila has all of the most common Girl of the Year features, which is likely a huge reason why collectors find her repetitive or generic. For the purposes of this graphic, I consolidated eye, skin, and hair colors into greater categories so that the data is more clear. For example, Sage and Krissa have different shades of blue eyes, but for the purposes of this data, I've counted both as blue. So the most popular face mold actually ended up surprising me the most. It's Josefina, not the classic mold, which with the addition of Lila now is 41% of the dolls. You guys, that's why people are saying it's overused. The most used eye color is brown at 41% again, which that does make sense. It's a common eye color. Same for hair color. Brown makes up 45.5% of the hair colors used in the line, which again, that's a common hair color. I get it. Unfortunately, the skin color is where we see a glaringly obvious problem. 73% of the dolls have had light skin. We have had 16 light-skinned Girl of the Year dolls, 5 medium-skinned dolls, and only 1 dark-skinned Girl of the Year. And that one was a recycled Truly Me. It was almost 7 years ago. And Tenny, a blonde hair, brown-eyed girl, was initially supposed to be the Girl of the Year that year. So that's not good. And seeing it in this format, I hope shows you guys why a lot of people are saying this doll is repetitive. Why are we getting another white doll? It's because historically that's really a lot of what we've gotten. So American Girl, I know you're probably not watching this, but again, please do better. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. It means a lot. We'll chat again soon, but until then, take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.